All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this evening with a part two of the series Flesh versus Spirit. Flesh versus Spirit. I want to let you all know that this is the reason why we, as individuals that's in the world today, everybody who's living, is not able to really comprehend a lot of things that's actually taking place because they're what? They're living out the flesh. Okay. They have no idea of their own spirit. Okay. Okay. Have none whatsoever. If you had to do, if the Ruach gave you the mission to do the percentage, if the spirit would really hurt you. It would really hurt you. Why would it hurt you? If he gave you that task, the most high now, it would hurt you because you would be fully one that's anointed and appointed to have that type of mission from Yah. But it would hurt you. It would hurt you to know that people today have no idea that there's two parts to them. None whatsoever. They have no idea. Let's take, for instance, the atheists or people who just might believe in the creator but don't really feel too much about it. They just believe. That's the majority of people. People can only trust in what they can see. People can only believe within them based on what they can see. You take everything from them, they'll curse Yah it to his face. They'll curse their God to his face. Let's take, for instance, different religions. Let's take Christian. When that time comes, everything, the rug is snatched from underneath them, they ain't gonna have a sight. They ain't gonna mumble jumble just Jesus Christ. They ain't gonna call on no God. You know why? People only feel comfortable calling on the Most High, which is their God and their Jesus Christ, even their Jesus Christ. They don't believe in calling on anything in a way of really trusting in it. They really trust in what they have, what they see, their materialistic things, the things they have accomplished in life. That's their God. That's why it talks about how people would, when that time of the tribulation and that perilous time come, they will fall and bend over. They've been bending over right now, all because of what Donald Trump is doing. But Donald Trump is setting up, not on the good side, but on the evil side. He's setting up Revelation 18 for him real good. Deborah, you better stop that. Well, he is. He's setting it up real good for him. And just imagine that 99 point, let's say 300. Now we got more than that. Just say a billion people. 99 times a billion have no idea they've been set up to bring this country down. Have no idea. They don't have no idea that they have a spirit. I don't know why people wouldn't think that there is something above all of us when you really start to do the study of the human body. It's impossible for anybody to come and put all that together and make it all work. That right there knocked everybody out the ballpark, from science to those who have all these degrees and these scholars. It knocks it all out the ballpark. When you start dealing with who could have created the human body from the inside, it'll take everybody to their grave. See, that's what they don't want to even know about. So they just assume that they played the role in all that they see before them, all that they have, their own body. They think it's how they'd have ate right, exercise, and everything in them, how they live their lives is the reason why they're where they at, how long they're living, and so on. So people don't have that faith and no trust, no belief in nothing outside of themselves. Okay, so today we are going to talk about flesh versus spirit. I kind of feel kind of bad putting that verse in there because the flesh can't be the flesh can't be measured by that spirit. And see what I was explaining to you all yesterday, there was a mystery in that title. The mystery that's in that title is the spirit. I know that is Yah's spirit, your flesh and everybody's flesh versus Yah's spirit. And I know it's no competition there. None whatsoever. You can't even win 1%. You can't toward Yah or so it shouldn't be verse. But since I put that in there, I said I'll leave it there. And as I go on with the information, we'll kind of bring up the other spirit that you have. Just imagine how you have a spirit and you have a flesh, okay? And that if you don't know that you have a spirit, how do you know you have a flesh? Because you what? See it. Didn't I just tell you that's the only thing man believes in? What they can see. That's it. Now, is the flesh more powerful than the spirit? No way. The flesh is only temporary. You see what I'm saying? It's only here for a minute. It's like a vapor. Here one day, gone the next. Do you know that the flesh already got its destiny to eternal dust already? But just imagine 99 point times 20 billion think it's all about their flesh. Not even thinking or understanding that there is a spirit. And guess what? Even if they've been in the Christian church from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, no matter what religion they're in, they still don't understand it to the fullness that they have a spirit, and they have to be measuring everything down here on the earth by the spirit. Why? 2 spirits only came down. You can't measure it by the flesh, y'all. That's why he said don't look at the outer man, because it'll mess you up. It'll mess you up and you'll be wrong all the time. Because it don't matter what you see on the outside, it's what's going on the inside that you better be checking out. Because the outside can't mess you up until the inside doesn't mess you up. And that's where you really get messed up. Well, see, people don't look at it like that. They think all this stuff is going on because it's just going on. So let's go. We're going to go to Ephesians. We're going to go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Now, this Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12 is a place we've been over and over and over and over. But guess what? Since this series we got 3. This is part 2. It's going to take you a different way. And a different way is in a way of the spirit where you can understand some things you never understood. Okay. So when we get to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, let me, and this is going to be really good here. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, we have heard about putting on the armor and so on. Like I told y'all, all of that stuff is talking about putting on. All of that is spiritual. Okay. It's no way he's going to tell you to put all this on to fight a spiritual battle. And you think it's something he's telling you to put on in the flesh. As if you got it hanging up in your closet. Ain't nothing he said you put on has to do with your flesh or what's hanging up in your closet. It has to do with the spirit, okay, of who he is. Okay. So when we get to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, it reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." So what is it saying? If it's saying that we wrestle not against, not against, not against flesh and blood, what is it saying? What is it saying? We wrestle not against flesh and blood. We just titled this message, Flesh versus Spirit. But here, it's kind of allowing the flesh to stand down, because it's pulling something on you greater than the flesh can even be measured by. And when we tell you, I might as well go on and tell you now, the ball was dropped here. When Sister Deborah said the ball was dropped, I'm explaining to you how the weak link, which were men, they were so busy with honoring themselves, making them kings, leaders, and rulers. They were so busy killing, stealing, and destroying, and doing the favor of Satan, to where they dropped the ball on everything that came down from the spiritual realm. And they taught everybody from the level of the flesh. From the level of the flesh. So when you get somebody that y'all is sending down, and they're speaking spirit and truth with the light in their right hand, you better listen to them. Not only that, you better have your pen and piece of paper, so whatever it is you need to jot down, so you can remember to put it in your backpack. And I'm talking about a spiritual backpack, because that bad boy, you're going to need it in the days to come to balance out your whole mindset. All of it going to make sense. No matter what you see, it's all going to make sense. It depends on what you got in your spiritual backpack. If you ain't got nothing in there, ain't nothing going to make sense. But if you got a lot of stuff in there that's full up to the brim, all of it's going to make sense. So here in verse 12 in Ephesians chapter 12, it says, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but, listen, watch my fingers, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers, against darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness. Those are 5 entities that not one church, not one, that you have set up under or heard, whether it's be on YouTube or anywhere, have taught you the power of those entities that is against you. 5. But guess where they at? They in the spiritual realm. They're in the spiritual realm. So it's letting you know, don't be naive thinking everything's in the natural realm, because this ain't about flesh and blood. Flesh and blood ain't got nothing on this realm. That's what it's really telling y'all. I know they never taught you. They dropped the ball in Genesis. So what makes you think they know how to pick it up in Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12? They don't. They run around here telling people, put on your whole armor of God so that you can withstand. Baby, ain't nothing you can check somebody with telling them to put on the whole armor as if they can go to their closet, open the door, and put it on. That's the mindset. They want to teach it in the natural realm, where it's so simple that it's like, all you have to do is put it on. Oh, baby, please. This right here, you have never in your life, and nor will you ever again hear the power of this war here that's fighting against you. that you had no idea. When you get to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." Who goes outside and wrestle with dust and dirt on the ground? Huh? Huh? Who do that? Who do that? Who goes outside and see mud and see dirt and go wrestling with it, fighting it? Who can actually say today that when they go somewhere and they see dirt, they fight with it? It's your enemy. Can that dirt be against you? Come on now, talk to me. I'm going to make it all make sense. Who can actually fight dirt, as the world calls it as well, dust? What do you look like outside out there fighting dust or dirt? A fool. So what it's saying here is that we fight not against flesh and blood, which is all it is dust. That's why you shouldn't have your stupid tail fighting it. It's just dirt. You're fighting something way beyond. And it says here in Ephesians chapter 12, "For we fight not against flesh and blood." If you knew what that really was from the beginning, you realize that's just dirt. So why are we fighting dirt? Watch this here. "But we don't fight against flesh and blood, but against," what do you mean against? Deborah, there's a fight. And this is really what their spirit is fighting. While the flesh sitting over there saying, the spirit is really in the battle. It's the spirit that's in the battle. So he's saying to us, it's not a war between flesh and blood. It's you guys. It's in the spirit. Here you go. You fight against principalities, powers, against rulers, against darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. Do you want me to tell you what he said? He wants me to let you know those are the things that is against your spirit. So would you say that these things are against principality, against powers, against rulers, against darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places? Could we say those 5 things is warring with Yah? Do you really think that those things are warring with Yah? Anybody? Would you think that they are fighting against Yah? No, you're right. They are warring against our spirits. We so ignorant and not knowing that our spirit is in the true battle. Yeah. That's the true battle there, y'all. It's not flesh and blood. It's your spirit. It's your spirit that's out here battling those 5 entities that is unseen. Can you feel it? Father, yeah. Can I answer that, Father? Yes, you can. It depends on where you at in Yah. But baby, that thing is felt. You hear me? So just imagine all this that everybody's doing on the earth. against the flesh. Hate, envy, jealousy. Look at Cain with Abel. No reason. The real reason was found in their spirit. One worshiped Yah and the other one didn't. But who they were in their spirit, not who they were in their flesh. It's who they are in their spirit. And I say that to each and every last one of you all. It's still the same. So when he's saying that we got these 5 entities that is against us, these are 5 entities that are against us. Now, who is us? Who is us? Who is us? The spiritual seed. The spiritual seed is us. So he's warning our spirit that it's not the flesh that the true battle resides. It's your spirit that has these 5 entities against you. So he said, put on the whole armor of Yah. So it's letting you know, this is not something you go in your closet and put on, or you portray in your flesh, you putting on the whole armor. It starts from your spirit within, knowing what the whole armor is. Okay? It's not what you put on the outer man. It's what you put on in the spirit. You see? So all of these things that's against our spirit, we got 5 entities. And you wouldn't get not one person to say to you and to nobody, even if you ask, say everybody asks 20 people, they'll tell you straight up, I never heard of that. When they teach, put on the whole armor, because we fight not against principality, against powers, and against rulers, and against darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in the high places. Guess what? They think it's between them and the battle itself. And when it's between them, it ain't even got nothing to do with their spirit. They think it's got to do with their flesh. They have no idea. That's why they think the whole armor that they put on is something they can put on, because they can put on the breastplate of righteousness. They can get the sword. They thinking that's getting the Bible. I'm telling y'all, these people really believe that. The churches which is of darkness have taught these people to believe this stuff in a way of the outer man and not the inner, because the battle is the spirits against the inner spirit of who you are representing Yah. Okay, so the question is, why we wrestle not against flesh? Because flesh is nothing. It's already defeated straight to hell, which is the dust, which is the grave. Flesh is already defeated. It is dust. It is nothing. And it is already defeated straight to the grave, which is the hell. Okay? So it ain't nothing to fight. Who goes out there? Which one of y'all will go outside and start fighting dirt or dust? Who does that? Who's going to go outside and start fighting dust and dirt? You see what I'm saying? It don't make sense, do it? No, it don't. It's already, your flesh is already defeated. It has its eternal destiny already. Back to the dust it goes. Okay? So the second question is, how many entities are against our spirit? How many entities are against our spirit? We just counted 5. That's a lot, y'all. That's a lot. That's a whole lot, y'all. That's a whole lot. Because it went all the way. Oh, wait, I ain't gonna go there yet. It's to the highest of the highest degree. I'm gonna show y'all what I mean. It's at the highest to the highest degree. That's where it's at. So here we go. How many are fighting against? That was 5. Okay. What does it mean when it says principalities? Starting off with the first one that's against our spirit, it's called principalities. The first one that is against our spirit, that comes and war with our spirit, is called principalities. Okay? It is against our spirit. Its principality mean it is a place, its place as head. Principality is the head. Okay? It has dominion. Okay? It has dominion. It is the head. So you see, they got their head dog, first and foremost. They got one that's leading them. Who's leading them? It's leading the power that's against you. It's leading the rulers that's against you. It's leading the darkness of this world against you. And it's leading the spiritual wickedness in high places against you. Who? Principality. It's the leader of them. It's the leader of all those that's against your spirit. Ain't that deep? They have the audacity to have a leader assigned to them. And you can't get nobody down here to do anything. But yet they got a leader that's called the principalities. And it's a place at the head. It is a dominion. It's a head. Okay? The next question, can one win? Can one win against these 5? Can anybody tell me, can we win against the 5? What are the 5? Principalities, against power, against rulers, against darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's 5. Coming after our inner man, which is our spirit. Can one win against those? No, you can't win, but Yah wins every time. We as individuals in the spirit, I'm speaking of our spirit, cannot win. But Yah win when he's in us. That's where we got the victory. I can't explain to y'all how people are walking around today without the Ruach HaKodesh being their teacher, their sword, their breastplate, their everything. I can't imagine. Like I said, It's no way I'm going to be at this age thinking that I don't need the whole armor of Yah. Because that's what's keeping these 5 entities that's unseen, that's in the spirit realm, off of Sister Deborah. The whole armor of Yah. Not my armor, not what I put on. When it said put on the whole armor, it's speaking spiritual mindset. You see? So we as our spirit alone cannot win. We as flesh cannot win. But the whole armor of Yah, we have won. But we need to stop teaching and speaking and making people thinking it's what we have to defeat these 5 entities that cannot be seen, but we have been warned of. Why? Because it's fighting from a spiritual realm. Okay. The next question is, are these entities greater than you or your flesh? Yes, it's greater. These entities are greater than you and your flesh. That's why you need the whole armor of Yah. Then now you are greater than they are. But I love the idea that it allows us to kind of grip the fact that we are useless without Yah. Even though we walk around, portray, we all that and some, and we got what it take, and yeah, we to this, we to this, we to this. But the truth be told, it's actually telling us you're nothing. Nothing without me. In you, for you, and to you. So I can't imagine how people walk around and feel so assured that he is so embedded in them and they don't even know what that means, what that stands for. Maybe y'all got something up his sleeves. I doubt it. Because at this moment, he's bringing much light out of darkness. And if you're not catching this light coming out of this darkness and saying, this is confirmation to me, you're still stuck in darkness, calling it light. Okay? So, do they work together? Do these 5 entities, do you think they work together? Just think of that. Principality against powers, against rulers, against darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's 5. Do you think they work together? Yes. But does that ever dawn on anyone that why is it the principality, the dark ones of the evil, how is it they can work together? No one ever thought of that, and they won't, because it'll bring shame to them. It'll bring shame to them. Why is it that they can come into unity as the 5 to work on you, your spirit? Because that's really where the war is at. Do you all understand why these principalities, these rulers, these powers, these darkness of this world and the spiritual wickedness ain't worried about the flesh? Because they know the true mission is found only one place, and that is in the spirit of a man. You see how that's also kind of showing you, I don't care how long you've been in the Christian church, in the religion that you in the Hebrew Israelite, I don't care what you in. Nor do Satan care what you are in. He understands, along with all of these that's against you, They are in full understanding. Let them stupid people worship any religion they want. Ain't no religion got nothing on us. We are the unseen battle that they keep fighting, a seen battle. We in the real battle because they are in that battle that determine the eternal destiny for the two. You see, while we're focusing on the flesh, we thinking we didn't nail something in the flesh, or we think we didn't hurt something in the flesh. We think we can deceive the flesh. We think we can, everything is done in the flesh to make the flesh think the flesh is all that and some, and don't even understand. It already got its sign eternal. Each and every last one of our flesh has already been assigned to our eternal destiny for this flesh. And that's the dirt. So what does it look like? Principality, powers, rulers, and darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. What does it look like them coming after you in the flesh? When they know the real war, it got nothing to do with the flesh. It got to do with the spirit. So what that does for me, a student of the Ruach HaKodesh, taught from the wilderness, what that does for me is allowing me to understand that the battle is that deep, 100% in the unseen. So while people are chasing the seen, they missing the truth of the whole matter, where all the true issues reside. Because if you come down here in the twos, and one of those twos so happen to be the seed of the darkness, the seed of the serpent, and one is the seed of the spirit, the seed of the light. Those are two spirits came down before there was flesh. You see? So it ain't never been about the flesh. It always been about the spirits. And that's where the battle is at. Okay? And do not think that Yah don't have his army of protection around many. He does. Okay? So here I see that, do they work together? Yes. They work together because they came down together. Their mission is to be together, work together, and win together. To us that's in the body, and Christ being the head, Hamashiach being the head, because Yah is planted in us. That's what make us a oneness. Whether we over in Russia, whether we in China, United States, France, the body is already together in the eyes of Yah. Because it's not the body of flesh. It is the body of spirit that's in a oneness of the called order of Yah. Okay? Now, that covers principality in high places, dealing with the flesh and the spirit, separating the two. And like I said, the flesh is already defeated. So those principalities, those 5 entities, is not in the unseen realm fighting against your flesh. It's fighting against your spirit because your spirit stands for something opposite of what they stand for. So the battle was and always is. and going to be in the realm of the spirit. Okay, so let's go to the Gospel of John, chapter 15, and verse 5 through 4. 4 through 5. The Gospel of John, chapter 15. The Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 4 and 5. In the Gospel of John, chapter 15, and verse 4 and 5, it says, "Abide in me, and I in you." What does the word abide mean? What is the meaning of abide? Okay. The Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 5, 4 through 5. It reads, "Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself." Now I'm gonna tell you something. Many of you all think you know it, but you don't. This is what I've been saying to y'all probably in the last year. Listen to what it's saying in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 4 through 5. "Abide in me, and I in you." The Father's letting you know the word abide means dwell. Okay? Inhabit, remain, sit, reside in me, and I in you. When you reside, if this is Yah and this is you, he's saying come into a oneness together. You abide in me and I in you is basically telling you to come, let's come together in a oneness. Okay. And then he said, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. So he's telling the one, he said, you come and abide in me because you cannot bear anything, no fruit by yourself. So he said, come and abide in me. And he said, come and abide in me as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. Letting you know all this stuff about, I got this, I got that, I know I got the keys, I know I'm going to heaven, I know I'm saved, I know I'm this, I know I'm this, and I'm knowing this. Baby, that's the flesh speaking all this knowing you. Have you ever thought about knowing Yah? It says that you cannot bear fruit of itself unless you abide in me. Do you think he means that you can abide in him without him abiding in you? If he does not reside in you and your spirit in his spirit while he resides in you, then you are not a oneness with him. I know it. You include everything else to make you a oneness with the Father outside of abiding in the oneness. Okay. And it says in verse of the Gospel of John, verse 15, chapter 15, verse 4, it says, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. And this is why I say it's a serious issues going on, because people thinking they can do this themselves. They really believe that they don't care about no fruit. We don't care. We can do this ourselves. We got this. That's the flesh. That's many people who come here in the flesh. They got that mindset. Now listen to this. It says, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. He's letting you know he's the vine. And except you abide in the oneness with the vine, no more can you accept ye abide in me. Just imagine that, child. That's a sad statement, y'all, because that really tells the whole truth of the whole matter. No matter if you what kind of religion you in, what kind of church you in, how you think you holier than thou, and cause you know just all these things you keep feeding yourself. And Yah is sitting here letting us know, unless I abide in your spirit and your spirit abide in mine, you can't even bear fruit. Do you understand what that fruit is? The fruit of the spirit. See? But you couldn't tell people that because they think they got it all. They think they got it from A to Z. Okay. And it said, except it abide in the vine, abide in the vine. That means you have to be in Yah. Here go Yah and here go you. He said it. Abide in me and I in you. Here we go. He's telling you, as the branch cannot, meaning you, it cannot bear fruit of itself. The only way it's going to bear fruit if it bears fruit, if it abide with Yah. No more can you accept ye abide in me. He's telling you straight up from the floor. So do you see why I tell you that the Ruach has to be in you? Come on now, y'all. And you got to have, that's how you develop the fruits of the Spirit. That's how you get the fruit. Because you are abiding in the vine. Just being the branch is not the vine. That means you can't have Yah just being the branch. You have to have him abiding in your spirit, and your spirit abiding in him, and y'all are one now in this together. And that's how you develop the fruits of the spirit, abiding in the vine. But you sit, all you have to do is sit and talk to people. It'll blow your mind. They are so far from anything that they feel that they need to be assured of themselves where they stand today. They don't care. They don't care. They think they in there already. They think they got that one-way ticket already. And that Yah has no other choice but to do it the way they feel it. That's just it. So verse 5 said, I am the vine. There goes the I am. I am is ahaya. That means I can be whatever I want, when I want, and I can pull up at any time. Verse 5 said, I am the vine. Ye are the branches. He that abide in me, and I am him, the same bring forth much fruit. Much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing. The strange thing is about that, child, is notice the Gospel of John chapter 15, verse 4 repeated itself again in verse 5. I just noticed that. But I get what the Father said. He's repeating it to give you all out there the assurance where he stand with this. Because I'm like saying, it reminds me of the Gospel of John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah, and the Word was with Yah in the beginning. 4 times. Here he's saying the same thing. He said in the Gospel of John chapter 15, he said the same thing in 4 that he said in 5. But one thing about 5, he stepped into a powerful realm. I am. That done it right there. That done it for me. I am the vine. Ye are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him. the same bring forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing. Nothing. So here he's actually letting you know there's nothing more you can do. If you're not abiding in me and I'm in you, it's nothing else you can do. So this leads also to the broad gate and those who think they got the way to the narrow and those who think that they in there with y'all without y'all being in there with them. Deborah, you didn't go there, did you? Oh, yes, I did. People believe that they're in there and abiding with him, whether he like it or not. I'm abiding in you, whether you want it or you like it or not. I'm in there already. He can't even tell me. I know I got the key. I know I'm saved. I know I got the ruach. I know I'm going with Mount Zion. Let me tell you something. It's good you know. Because with me, I ain't going to try him like that. I'm just going to try to be obedient to everything he say and know everything later. But that's just showing you the difference between me and you. I ain't going to sit here and know it. I got it all lined up. It's going like bam, 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 my way. Oh, no, 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 no. People don't even know they're going to sleep. Ain't going to even make it to Mount Zion. They don't even know that yet. But you better hope that when you drop, you where you should have been, not where you going, but where you should have been all the time. You better hope it. Okay. Okay. So this one here is showing you how the Ruach itself is letting you know if I abide in you and your spirit in me, we are one. Here you go, and here he is. And because he's here, you're going to increase fruit. You're going to have fruit. You know how I always say, where's your fruit? Do you got any fruit? People don't like you to say that because they can't find it in them. And you should. If he is abiding in you and you in him, now you are one in the Father. Okay? All righty. The next one is the Gospel of John, chapter 6 and verse 63 through 64. The Gospel of John, chapter 6 and verse 63 and 64. The Gospel of John, chapter 6 and verse 63 and 64. And let us start with 63. The Gospel of John, chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth the flesh. No, that's not what it says. That's not what it says. It says, it is the spirit that quicken. Okay? The spirit that quicken. Okay? That's what it says. The flesh profit nothing. Going back to the flesh, y'all. You see why the flesh will be your greatest enemy? That's why the flesh ain't concerned about the principalities in high places, the 5 entities and the powers and the rulers and those wicked of darkness and those. The flesh ain't worried about those. Why? Because they ain't after him, the flesh. The flesh ain't worried about it. The flesh ain't worried about all that. Let me see. Your flesh is not worried about, let me get it right. Your flesh is not worried about principalities, powers, rulers, darkness of this world, nor spiritual wickedness. Your flesh ain't worried about that. Why? These spirits is not after your flesh. They're after your spirit. That's why we don't wrestle with the flesh, because it's deeper than the flesh. It's the spirit that you need to wrestle with, because that's where the war is really at. That's where the battle is really at. It's your spirit. When you can't figure out how you can stop drinking and drugging and prostituting and all these wicked and evil, it's because you got to go to the realm of the spirit. That's why when you go to the altar, you take that spirit to the altar. You don't take your flesh nor your mouth. Time I'm going to the pastor, I'm going to the church, I'm going down there to the altar. The true altar is before Father, the Creator. That's the true altar. You see? So the flesh is not caught up in all that. It's not worried about all those principalities in the high places, because he's already said, I know my place is my eternal place. I already know I know I'm already dead. I already know that. That's why the flesh don't care about you. It don't care about your spirit. Ain't that deep? That you can have you can have a spirit, and then you can have the flesh that's covering your spirit, living, and don't care enough about you. Why? Tubes came down. If you were born in the spirit of the flesh, then you're born of the flesh. Your spirit is born to fulfill the flesh, or to go the way of itself. Because see, it ain't that the spirit is evil. No, it ain't that the flesh. It's the spirit first and foremost that came down here. It came down for darkness. So the flesh is all with darkness. And the flesh said, I don't care about that spirit. I don't like the spirit either. Both of us darkness, but I don't care. Let them do anything they want to you. My place is already assigned to the dust. You see? So here in the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verse 63, it is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profit nothing. See? Everybody think it's all. That's why I say don't be going around here. Okay, now watch this. You know how I was trying to tell y'all, they put all this emphasis, the Hebrew Israelite movement cult, they put all this emphasis on the outer man. Oh, Deborah, no, you didn't go there. See there? I've been trying to teach it to you. They focus all on the outer man. And he's sitting here telling me, hold up, bro. It ain't the flesh that you're wrestling with. Flesh and blood. It ain't that. It's the spirit of who you are. So how is it you're going to deck the outside away that have a godly form, but then your inner man is a seed of the serpent? You see? You see how foolish that is? You see the foolishness? Now listen to what it says about the flesh. The flesh profit nothing. Didn't I just tell y'all that? The flesh has nothing to look forward to but to turn back into the dust. The flesh ain't even moved by the grave. He don't care about going to the grave. He going back to the dust. He don't care about the casket, the funeral, and all of that. The flesh don't care. Okay? It don't even care about the spirit that came down here. It don't care. Okay? That's why your spirit has to tame your flesh, because the flesh has no respect for its spirit. Okay? So it says, we still in the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verse 63. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You see? They are spirit and they are life. Totally different from what the flesh is. But the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You know how I tell you about spirit and truth? I'm only speaking spirit and truth. I try to explain that. And I also said, Life is the light. You see? Life is eternal life. It's the light of the spirit. You see? That's why he's showing you spirit and they are life. Who owns life? The bosom of the Father. He is life. Okay? So in the Gospel of John, chapter 63, it's actually then told you flesh profit nothing. Why are we giving so much to the flesh? These ignorant people are sitting here talking about the next election. Y'all know that? And here Babylon then finna go down in history as really going down. And they got their ignorant tails talking about the next election. Okay. So when you get to the Gospel of John chapter 6, now we in 64, verse 64. But there are some of you, now watch this here. Sister Deborah, something again that Sister Deborah been saying. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yeshua knew from the beginning who they were. From the beginning. I try to explain to y'all. Y'all think Yah will send his servants down here to do his will and not know nothing and not know who in the midst of them, who is around them. Come on. That's where my harsh talk come from, because I can feel it when I get on this live. I can feel it. Can I do something about it? No, but I'm going to do something about it, because after this video, I'm closing my old page. I'm closing it down, shutting every video on that page down. How you like me now? I'm going to shut it down. You see? So here it talks about in 64, but there are some of you that believe not. Watch what it says. For Yeshua knew. And I'm talking about the Son of Man. I ain't talking about Christ. Yeshua knew from the beginning who they were. That believe it not. And who should betray him. One thing that's really good about it, I said when I was studying, I said they're going to get it confused. They're going to get it confused. They're going to think that when it says, for Yeshua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. You got to see where it says he knew from the beginning they. See, a lot of y'all, you don't see that. You don't read that because you can't see it in the spirit realm. You don't have spirit and truth and the light. But there it is before you. It's telling you he knew that he knew who they were that believed not. Then it says, and he knew the one that was going to betray him. And when I read that, I said, thank you, Father. Because I try to tell those people, these people think they really think that you sitting up here feeding their spirit for nothing. They ain't even touching base with Yah to find out even who they are. They just assume that this is a playground. And it is. It's the devil's platform. So it's still matching. You see? Listen to that. He sat and said, now, had y'all heard of that? Had y'all heard that Yeshua knew from the beginning who they were? Who is that they were that believe not? Because Yah is not going to send you as a servant. Put you into the multitude. Put you around people and you ain't going to know who's who and what's what. You all are sick, not the Most High. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to send you on a mission and not give you the tools to use while on the mission. It's like running a race and you don't have a lane to run therein. then what are you running for? You out of order if you don't have a lane. Who runs a race and don't have a lane? So what are you running for? You see, you get the point? You ain't gonna hear nobody talk about Yeshua knew those that wasn't gonna believe. Yeshua knew from the beginning. From the what? From the beginning. From the what? From the beginning, who they were. That believed not. That's beautiful. That lets me know that the Father is saying, he didn't add Christ, Hamashiach. He said, the Son of Man knew. Yah gave us tools to work while we run this journey of long suffering and endurance. And we're supposed to go in like a dumbbell and not know who in the midst of us, who's around us. And it says, believe not, and who shall betray him. He even knew who was going to betray him. We know who that was too. But I did not know that he spotted from the beginning those who weren't believe not. Why? I bet y'all didn't know, did you? Why is it saying that? And why is it clear? Listen to what it says. For Yeshua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not. All the way from the beginning. He knew that. And you'll never hear nobody preach it nor teach it. They'll tell you he knew the betrayer who was going to betray him because he said it. But they won't teach that he knew all the ones around him from the beginning that believed not. You see? He knew. But did it stop them from being around him? It didn't stop them. They still came around, even though he knew. They were unbelievers. They didn't believe. Do you think that do you really believe that when it tells us that Yeshua knew them from the beginning, who they were that believe it not? Do you know what does it mean when it says who they were that believe it not? What do that mean? What did that mean? The serpent seeds. Somebody who don't believe is the serpent seed. Why are they around him? Because that's how they do, y'all. I try to tell you that same thing with this page. They get around. Because whenever there's a light, whenever there's righteousness, whenever there's spirit and truth, you're going to have the majority, the opposite. It's a known fact. But he said not a word. Not about them. Now that I see here, John is telling you. John don't need to tell me. I'm a living witness for my own experience. Because you have to endure and long suffer something. You can't just be a servant of Yah and don't long suffer and endure. So it got to be something. Him knowing that they was around him and they didn't believe, that was serpent seeds all around him. You see? That's a known fact today. And do serpent seed go around the people in the church? These people who preaching and teaching on these devil platforms? The majority of them are serpent seeds. So they're in the right place. Right place, right time. They where they belong. But this page, come on now. All I think about is that narrow gate. Okay. So here it says that he knew. I didn't pay any attention to, but then I told y'all this book is not something I go in here and read. I've read it, but not like, oh, I get to read it. When I was first called to as a prophetess, I went in and I was gone, y'all. I was trying to read, and the Father stopped me right in my beginning tracks. Now, when I was young, I used to grab it and I would read just a little verse, leave it alone, a little verse, maybe a month or 2 months, 3 months later. I was never one that says, oh, this said this said this, because it was always something, y'all, in me that was speaking to me. Always, as a little girl. It was always something in me teaching me from that level. You see? And I heard it. I felt it. I knew it. So when I look back over my life, I think about that. How long he's been with me, teaching me, spoon feeding me. Okay. So who profit nothing? Who profit nothing? In the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verse 34, the flesh. But just imagine how everybody in the world give all this glory and honor to their flesh. To the point where people judges the people outer appearance instead of their inner. While the principalities in high places with powers and wickedness and evil, 5 entities, are measuring your spirit. And then you on the earth, and the flesh of men and women are measuring your flesh. You gonna tell me that ain't no endurance got to come along with that? Y'all have to give you the long suffering and the endurance. He had to, because that you got the people covering your flesh, measuring your flesh from your outer being, and then you got all these wicked in high places, principalities, powers, and rulers in the spirit realm, measuring your spirit. And you gonna tell me he ain't gonna usher you some endurance and the Father ain't gonna give you a spirit of endurance, of a spirit of long suffering? You need it, because it's coming from every side, and it's stupid on both sides. Why? Because when he is abiding in you and you in him, can't nothing touch you from the inside nor on the outside. You see, you're oneness with the Father. You see, while everybody is clowning on the outside, and then you got all these principalities. But let me explain something to you. 99.15 trillion times 15 trillion would know that, watch this here, principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness of this world against spiritual wickedness in high places. All of those things are where they're on the earth now. See, they were in high places. Now they're on the earth. They're on the ground level, y'all. And this is why you see all this chaos in the world today. This is why. Because it's now on ground level. It's hit the ground level. And that's where it resides. It's time to battle at the level of the ground. And that's what they're doing. That's why people ain't paying attention to him making sure we understand perilous times. He made sure we understood perilous times. He made sure we understood tribulation. He made sure we understood Matthew's 24, when Yeshua told the disciples what will be the end days. Then he turned around and bagged that thing up and laid it down with Revelation. And everybody walking around here like it's Christmas. They waiting for Santa Claus. You see? That's where the mindset of people are at. As if all this he said that's going to take place in this day we in. And we walking around like, hey, we ain't worried about it. We got too much cover. And they don't even understand the lawlessness. That's those principalities in high places, those powers and those rulers. And you hear some of them hollering about that, the Antioch or whatever them other people things that's on the earth now. That's what that is. Oh, see. And I've been telling y'all that for the last, 6 months? They on the earth. Oh, you can't tell nobody nothing. Like I said, until it is clearly seen, and it will, then that's when people, like the days of Noah, when it's too late. And then people are going to try to feel, how can I handle this? How can I deal with this? It ain't going to be no dealing. Okay. So the last flesh versus spirit is coming from the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 12. It says 14. Verse 12 through 14. I think I better get that over here. And verse 12 and 14. Romans chapter 8, verse 12. Let's start with verse 12 to 14. Let's start with verse 12. And it reads, therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do modify the deeds of the flesh, ye shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah, they are the sons of Yah. Now, this is a very powerful message right here, because the first thing he wants you to know is, he says, therefore, brethren, okay, we are not debtors, not to flesh. What do that mean? We are brethren, we are not debtors, not to flesh. What does that mean? It's saying we're not obligated to the flesh. One thing I can say for sure, that the Most High Yah want us to know this. He have done so much to get us to understand the flesh, but the flesh won't let you understand its own self. I see that in living period, as the years that I've lived. People cannot. My daughter said today when she came to pick up my grandbaby, she said somebody that had, well, she said mental disease. And I told her that's not mental. These are demonic. And she just kind of turned away. But she didn't like that. You see? Nobody wants to call it out for what it is. He just revealed to y'all 5 different entities that were at war with your spirit in high places, that's in unseen realm, and no one still gets it. We're all these mental, the world, I told her the world calls it mental. Because this is how they make money from it, categorizing you. That's how they categorize a lot of those children with ADD or whatever they call it. But they uses that to make money. But that's why people can't get out of it. They on all this medication and they still can't get out of it, because it's a demonic spirit. You can't medicate a demonic spirit, stupid people. You cannot give people medication. You can't go to someone to counsel you and teach you how to deal with it and teach you how to sleep. No, demons don't give a rat's behind about how you trying to sleep and how you need to sleep. You think they gonna be you taking them that all that type of mental medicine? You think that's putting the demons to sleep? No, they still working on you, waiting till you get a spot where you get a clear mind so you can take yourself out. Mm, 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 mm. They work all the time. So when you get over to that chapter where it's talking about principality in high places, that's where they were. But now they on the earth. So we see a lot of people talking about all this mental illness. Yep, because y'all don't understand that now they're on the earth. They cutting up from the flow up. And you get a lot of those that's Bible crazy speaking on it, but ain't nobody hearing them. Ain't nobody hearing them. But I ain't gonna call it what they call it. I'm gonna tell you the truth of the matter. Now those spirits is on the earth, cutting up from the floor. Okay, so here in Romans, it said, therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not we are debtors, not to the flesh. He's letting you know you're not obligated to your flesh. You see, he did so much trying to make us understand that our flesh is crap, but we don't want to see it like that. We think it's all about our flesh. Like Yah is going to see your flesh to the kingdom. He's going to see your flesh at the throne. The flesh said, y'all, mine's in. Everybody flesh in. It's they already got everybody going the same place. To the grave, back to dust. But you can't tell people that. Because these people have messed these people up so bad in these churches, in these different religions, thinking they going to heavens, even with their dogs. They animals. That's how sick people are today. That's how sick they are today. So here it says, therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. You see? You didn't know your spirit's supposed to get your flesh under the subjection to it. But when your spirit is not able to get your flesh under the subjection, that's because your spirit came down dark. It's worse than your flesh itself. That's just it. So it's telling you that your flesh is not you're not obligated to your flesh, but who are you obligated to? You see? So you see how people sitting here preparing their flesh for everything? And he's sitting here letting us know, baby, you just preparing yourself for dust to the ground. You better be trying to get your spirit man right, which is your inner man, in its right place, if it's not. Okay? And when he says live after the flesh, what does that mean? Live after the flesh. Don't let your flesh have that power over you. You got a spirit. It needs to get your flesh under the subjection to it and stop letting your flesh rule over your spirit. But if you come down as a dark seed, then that's about right with your flesh. You and your flesh is twins in your actions. No need to be trying to get it under subjection. Your spirit is worse than your flesh. So, hello. So it says, ye shall die. Okay, that's because we're going into verse, what verse is that? That was 12. We're going into verse 13. For if you live after the flesh, ye shall die. If you live after your flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do modify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. And what is the deeds of the body? What is the deeds of the body? That is the works. That is the things. Let me get it. The body. That is the deeds mean the works, the work of your body. It means the work of your body. Okay. Verse 14, for as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah, see, you got to be led by the Spirit, led by the Spirit. You see how that said? You have to be led by the Spirit of Yah. They are the sons of Yah. Why is everybody feeling the house of Israel and Judah is the sons of Yah? Why is it everybody wants to claim they are the children of the Most High Yah in the way of eternal? No, he has to call you the sons of Yah. That means you returning back to the kingdom where your father is at, because you're his sons. But you have to be led by him. See, people think they come down here and they rule. They rule. But how you know who people are going to be and truly is when the tribulation, it's almost in the middle. Perilous time is already at hand, because everything in 2 Timothy chapter 3 has already taken place. Okay. Everything is already before us. But what is happening is so many people, and there's so many of us, to where it just ain't got around to us yet. Okay. But to me, I can feel that thing. I can see that thing at the distance. It feels like it's right up on us. So here it's actually telling you in verse 14, for as many as are led by the Holy Spirit, they are the sons of Yah. Everybody claiming to be Yah's, but nobody wants to fall under his righteous order. Why? I have no idea. I think the only thing I can think of is people been living this worldly life for so long. Like I told you, they done made right wrong, wrong right. They didn't turn good to evil and evil to good. They didn't turn light to dark and dark to light. Bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, to where you can't see good. You can't see the light. You can't see right. You can't see good. I mean, sweet. You can't see it. It can't be seen, because they just flipped it so bad to people. You can't even go to nobody and get anything out of them right. You can't. People are not teaching. People are not preaching. People are not leading. People are not guiding. People are not doing anything, because everything been flipped to the opposite end. That's how he has won the whole world, deceived the whole world. That's how he got victory in deceiving the whole world. But see, I didn't know that they were able to flip it like that. So the Father said, but that's okay, Deborah, that's okay. That which was in the dark, I'm bringing some light out of it. And I like that, because it's going back to bringing him what he was in the beginning. He was in the beginning. He was the light. And he's going to be in the end. He's going to show up the light. And the light is consist of spirit and truth. The things that has been dropped. So what? Nobody never heard what Sister Deborah is teaching. It don't matter. In Yah, as long as it's out there. It's gone out to the wind. Satan them hear it. The demons hear it. And all of these principalities in high places, now they're on the earth. Rulers, they're on the earth. What do he say? Rulers and powers, darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places, they own the land now. They own the ground level, cutting up from the floor. That's where they at. So the truth of the whole matter is, while they're here, they got a job to do. They got a purpose. And all of this stuff, and with me, one of the greatest things that I see as an individual of the servant of the Most High Yah from the wilderness is actually seeing how America is brought down from the inside. That's powerful to me. America is brought down from the inside, and then we would stand on this end, and we would think that we have no part in that. Y'all said that's a lie from the pit of hell. There's so many people are a partaker in all of that, because when you deny that it's taking place, you partaking in it. It ain't about whether it's on you yet. Oh, it will. But it's about owning the prophecy has taken place. And see, what it said was Babylon the Great has fallen. Has fallen. It already fell once. You all are just waiting around for the debris. But you fail to realize you in Babylon. That's what I think is one of the biggest. That shows you the mindset of people ain't there. Because he's telling you it's going to be destroyed, and you're looking at it as, hey, so what? I'm here. And you're grabbing out of greed, and you're taking things, and you're just making it about every materialistic things and everything on the outside of your flesh, and just making it about everything. But fail to realize none of that on the outside of you, even your flesh, has nothing common but destruction and death. So why not get your spirit man together to make sure you're in the right place with the Father, the one that created it all? I see exactly what he's doing. He said, I'm the beginning and I'm the end. I am Alpha and Omega. And he's showing it up. He was the light in the beginning, and he's going to be the light at the end that pulls out, showing up and identifying himself in darkness right before their face. And you even heard, even it's going to be one moment where the knee's going to bow and every tongue's going to confess. Hold up, what's going on? Is this knee bowing and this tongue confessing, Father? What does that mean for those who bowing down and tongue confessing? Means nothing. But that they recognize who is the beginning to the end, and that they thought darkness had gotten all victory. See, that's what y'all didn't understand. Y'all got a plan for the end. And it ain't meaning that you have to buckle up and buckle under him. It's over. It was over in the kingdom before it started on the earth. And because we failed to have found where we stand, where is my purpose? What should I be doing in such a time as this? I don't care. I don't care. So I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. I will be shutting down my old page permanently. And I will do away with even the videos that's on that page. It's time to pack up and get up and continue to run up in the face of Yah, and not so much as constantly being before a brick wall. Okay? So I, Sister Deborah, say I appreciate you all joining today, and I hope you got something out of it. And I say shalom and shalom.